And welcome to the program. Randy Zook, the CEO of the Arkansas State Chamber of Commerce and Associated Industries of Arkansas, joins me. Always good to see you. Happy New Year.
Always good to be with you, Robbie.
And we tape a little early, but happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
You're
Another trip
good.
Around the sun.
59, I just have to say. So
59 a couple
60's
of times.
coming soon, isn't it?
Could happen.
Well, happy birthday. Appreciate you being here on that. Let's begin with just kind of a big general question. Is this economy that we're in right now, is it booming or is it busting? Because right now I feel like my political affiliation is going to determine which perspective I have.
It very likely does. Literally, the political outlook, your political perspective typically determines whether you think we're in a great economy or the end of the world is right around the corner.
Right.
Frankly, I'll quote a guy off of CNBC this morning. This is a great economy. Despite the Fed's best efforts, this economy continues to create jobs at unexpectedly high levels. People who are looking for jobs are having a little bit more, having to put a little more effort into it, and it's taken a little longer. But nevertheless, there's still about 1.5 jobs for everybody who's in the market for a job nationally. And that's true for Arkansas in most places. There are exceptions. Yeah. There are places that are really hurting for one reason or another, but those are very localized. Yeah. Generally speaking, this economy in Arkansas is very healthy.
Stock market's booming. GDP has been pretty healthy and robust this past year.
Absolutely.
You've got the unemployment at a very low rate, like you said. There's a lot of positives happening. Inflation's coming down. It is still, I think, a problem for a lot of people.
Yep.
That is pretty difficult for one government, even a national government, to control because there's worldwide influences.
Well, it takes a long time for the Fed's best efforts. This thing is too big to turn on a dime, so there's always a lag between policy changes and how the economy responds.
One of those big battleships that you don't turn quickly.
It is a big battleship.
End of the year for Arkansas, some really nice economic development announcements. Dasso Falcon out in at Little Rock Airport with a big expansion. We saw new jobs in Camden, lots of other areas of the state too. Every economic developer that I talked to, and I've talked to probably about a half dozen in the last month, has told me that it is as robust as they've ever seen it. What's your sense?
Exactly right. They're spot on. Just take an imaginary road trip around the state, and starting in the Northeast, you've got the world's greatest, most modern steel mill under construction, soon to go into production. 3,000 or 4,000 people working up there to build the thing, plus looking for about 700 or 800 to staff it once it's open. So all these things, the Walmart headquarters complex looks like we're rebuilding, the Manhattan Project or something. It's just unbelievable how much activity there is. And Fort Smith is about to just explode. Yeah. But it just all across the state, positive economic signs. We had a great harvest, unusually early in the eastern part of the state. Yep. So, things are. I don't want to say they're rosy, but they're very healthy. We've got a really good situation.
It's definitely been good. There's no doubt about that. All right, one of the things that I think you will never stop wanting for the rest of your life is tax cuts in Arkansas. What do you see on the tax cut horizon in 2024?
In 2024, I think we'll see another modest reduction. I think there's reason to be a little bit careful now. It's not just pedal to the metal, but we're going to have to be careful. The state is still creating a surplus at the first half of this fiscal year, a couple $100 million.
Right.
I would guess we'll end up somewhere between 300 and 320 or 30 or 40, somewhere in there.
With the tax cut or the surplus?
No, but the surplus. And then there's indications that they'll want to do some things. I think it might be pretty detailed kind of stuff, the kind of stuff we like, some of the...
Well, like what?
Well, I mean, the net operating loss carry forward period. We've got room to extend that beyond where we are. We made one change, we need to make another, but that's pretty CPA kind of stuff, but it's important.
What about not doing as deep of a tax cut in order to make investments in some things like education, workforce training?
As a matter of fact, we just have concluded a poll, a statewide poll, and we sense that that's the public's view right now, is let's be careful that we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, with the dishwater. So,
would you care to share more about this poll that I'm just now finding out about?
well, as a matter of fact, I'm about to take off on a tour of the state.
Yes.
Discussing this poll. It's
Glean with me
broad.
a little bit more of what might be in there. So,
well,
your big takeaway.
Yeah, the big takeaway is that, first of all, it is your ideology that drives your view of the future of the economy, but there's some reason for concern about people's optimism longer term. Are people willing, we've got people moving into Arkansas. That's the good news. Unlike Mississippi, our neighbor, which in this booming economy is treading water at best or losing ground in terms of population. People vote with their feet. People vote with a moving van on what they think of an area or a location. We've got people moving here from all over the country, not just Northwest Arkansas, all across the state. Some parts aren't enjoying that growth, but those are localized reasons. But Northeast, Northwest, Central Arkansas, Southwest, the lithium play in Arkansas, in South Arkansas.
How big do you think that's going to potentially be? You're helping lead a conference, I think, in February.
February, we've got a seminar, a conference, whatever you want to call it, to bring people together to make sure everybody understands the magnitude of this opportunity. It will make, as people down there say, it will make the oil boom look like a ripple. You
think it'll be that big?
A bona fide world global expert on lithium did a little phone call for a bunch of us yesterday, and he agrees that Arkansas has the potential to supply 15% of the lithium worldwide global demand.
I've not heard numbers that big before.
Optimism I was stunned that he used
big
it.
Before. Because I think of the Fayetteville shale play that we went through, which was a boon for Arkansas during a pretty difficult economic time nationally, and it helped sustain Arkansas in a big way, but then it faded, sort of thing.
Well,
and
this guy
doesn't sound like lithium is going to do that.
This guy's a card-carrying chemist and an expert, and has been involved in lithium development and mining and everything all over the world for 25 or 30 years. And he's saying it's the real deal for us.
And
we just got to respond appropriately.
And real quick, for people, we got about 30 seconds left. For people that don't know, what is lithium used in? Why is it
lithium-ion batteries primarily, and electric vehicle batteries and other applications of battery power.
Going to be a big deal. Are there any projections yet on how many jobs it might produce? Do you think that'll be something that comes out of the seminar?
Well, when Exxon came in to, ante $100+ million, they're talking about several thousand in facilities down there.
Permanently.
6,000 to 8,000 permanent, high-end, high-wage jobs, long-term. Not in the next couple of years, but it's gonna unfold gradually. But I think we'll be pleased with the rate.
Better get into the real estate business down in South Arkansas.
There are a lot of businesses people ought to get into in South Arkansas. Housing would be a key one.
Yep. Randy Zook with the State Chamber of Commerce. Always a pleasure to visit with you. Thank you for your longtime support of the show. I'm going to make an announcement here shortly. Is Talk Business and Politics 25 years old this year. You're my first guest of the year. So
that is a real accomplishment.
Thank you. All right. We're back with more right after this.